Welcome back to the Wildfire tutorial video series. In this segment, we're going to begin to consider the end before you begin. That is to say, you'll plan a solid distribution strategy for your website to lay a foundation for it to achieve your goals. Let's get started. When we want to build a website, it's tempting to jump right in and get busy with the building. But before you start to build your website, you need to have a plan for it to avoid problems, like this. Thinking through a plan before you begin building your website will make sure it does precisely what you want it to in the end. We'll start thinking about your plan by asking ourselves a few questions like, who do you want to reach? And what do you want them to do? Where are they? That will affect their ability to access the internet. And finally, how will they know about your website? Let's dive in. Ask yourself, who do you want to reach with your website? Who is most likely to be interested? Think of one person who is the type of person you want to reach. It could be an imaginary person who represents a group of people who have similar interests and concerns. Later, you may want to come back and add another kind of typical website visitor. But for now, focusing on one individual is meant to help you plan your strategy more effectively. Do you have someone in mind? Now, see if you can answer these questions about them. What is their name? What gender are they? What level of education do they have? What is their occupation? What sorts of things do they like? What is their status in life? How much does their religion or value system affect their life? Are they satisfied with their life? What do they lack? Those are a few questions to get you started thinking about your potential users. Soon we'll ask you to write a paragraph about your person, summing them up in a few short sentences. Here's an example. Susan is a woman who works hard to care for her family and friends. She is concerned about the treatment of women in her country. She has no college degree and uses her cell phone constantly. She is greatly influenced by the dominant religion. In a moment, you'll pause the video to think through some details about who this one representative person is and write it down. You can restart the video when you're ready. Pause the video now. Welcome back. Hopefully, that last exercise was helpful to you to turn a general idea about your audience into a very specific picture of one typical user. When you begin building your site, you'll be keeping that one person in mind and making choices that will optimize your site for their use. But first we have more questions to answer. We've answered the who, now let's think about the what. What do you want your website visitor to do? Do you want them to read the information on your website? Do you want them to comment about it? Do you want them to listen, watch, or download videos, music, or audio? Do you want them to engage with others and discuss important issues? In the first section, we said we would explore 4 questions that will help you create a good plan for your website. Who, what, how, and where. We've already covered who your potential user is and what you want them to do. Now let's talk about where. You need to understand where they will access your media and what ways they will access it. Location is important because you can find out if they have internet locally or if they have to go somewhere to stream or download media. Distributing your media in low or no internet areas will require you to think about alternative distribution strategies, like SD cards. What they like to do on the internet is important because it tells you what apps they use to connect with others and to view media. You can then position your media in those places or let them know where your media is. Take some time now to answer these questions about what you want your viewers to do and where they will be doing it. Pause the video now and restart when you're ready. Welcome back. You now have a good idea of who you're trying to reach, what they will want to do, and where they will access your content. The last thing to think about is how you will get it to them. There are many ways to reach your users. Let's take a look. There are lots of ways to get your message out, and they fall into two main categories: informing broadly or using your personal influence in groups. Informing broadly means to get the information out to as many people as possible. You may not know where they are or what they are like. You are hoping someone that fits your criteria will find the message. Posting a public Facebook message, running a radio ad, placing Google ads, and printed material such as handouts or mail are all examples of informing broadly. Group influence is usually more effective and much more personal. Examples of this method are joining a social media group, going to local community groups or churches, talking to family and friends, and contacting community leaders. What methods would work for you? Take a few moments and write them down. Pause the video now and restart when you're ready. Now that you have an idea of who you're trying to reach, what they will do, where they are, and how to reach them, you have a distribution strategy. In the next tutorial video, you will plan your website. This is the end of this segment of the Wildfire video tutorial series.